Yes, I am.
With Kevin Spacey, and I forget who else was in it. But anyway,
really well done show.
Very well done
show.
But it was so dirty, and it was about this congressman who was Kevin Spacey, who was, I think it was Minority or Majority Whip.
Yep.
What was it? Yeah. And so anyway, very, very powerful guy. And it was just kind of like his secret life of all this corruption and power and money and perversion. And it was just dirty. How much, in your opinion, because you've been behind the veil, is this fictitious show? Or is this more closer to like a documentary? Is it that bad?
So I heard a former president that we had in the 90s was asked the question about this. And he gave an answer that I thought was so true. And he said, the only thing that's not accurate in that show is that you could never get a piece of legislation about education passed that quickly.
And everything else is good.
Aside from that, I mean, the sexual perversion that goes on in Washington, I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington with the average age is probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to like, oh, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that, there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove, addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's like, wow, this is wild.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about a story that absolutely nobody should be surprised about if you keep up with what allegedly goes down in these Washington, D.C. streets, okay? Because Madison Cawthorn, just probably, a couple years ago, right? He warned us, right? He told us that in Washington, they be having sex orgies and coke parties. This is what he said. Okay, now lo and behold, Secret Service is investigating suspected cocaine discovered inside the White House. Now this comes as the White House a couple days ago had experienced what they call a hazmat situation. Okay, a bunch of service teams was called in after Secret Service discovered that there was some mysterious powder, okay, at the White House. Now at the time it was speculated that it would be coke, but I didn't do a video about it because we didn't know if it was coke. Now it's confirmed that it was coke, right? They found coke at the White House. Again, it's just amazing all of the respect and dignity that the Biden administration has brought back to this great American monument, okay? Because, just a few weeks ago, he had topless transgender people at the White House, okay? I guess you could call it the 304 house, okay? And now he has cocaine at the White House, okay? So I guess you can now call it the crack house, right? Again, Biden has turned the White House from the White House to the 304 house to the crack house, okay? But again, this is the guy that's supposed to be bringing respect and decency back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, right? So I want to go ahead and talk about this and react to it because, again, the reactions here are hilarious. Especially this news clip from Newsmax, in which they talk about this story. It's hilarious. Take a look.
Time now for news from the left, and boy, do we have a good one to start with. There's no way of knowing how it got there or whose it is, but it appears that cocaine has been found at the White House. And it wouldn't be a thumping July 4th weekend without Hunter Biden ripping lines off of a bust of Teddy Roosevelt. A mysterious white powder was discovered in the West Wing on Sunday, prompting a hazardous materials call to the fire department. I wish I was making this up, but it's true. Newsmax can confirm the powder is presumed by the fire department to be cocaine. It was sent to a lab for further analysis. Hunter, I can tell you, was at the White House on Friday, leaving with his father for Camp David. Sadly, he may have forgotten his party favors, which is unfortunate. Imagine having to hang out with Joe Biden for 4 days sober. Now, that's a long weekend.
Facts. That's a torture session, right? That's a torture session. Okay, that's a torture session. What you have here okay, is a story that I find to be truly fascinating, because I think that the coke could have ended up there in multiple ways. Now, again, the obvious answer is Hunter Biden, right? Hunter Biden left it around, okay? But the not so obvious answer is the fact that the White House just recently had like a dinner, okay, dinner party, okay, and you had, you know, the Biden administration there, you had members of the media there, and it could have been some leftover drugs from that party. You know, if I had to guess, I think that's what it was, right? I think that it is leftover drugs from that party because, guys, right, like Madison Cawthorn said, these people, these politicians, they're into all types of crazy stuff, right? And people in the media as well, too. They're into doing drugs together, getting high, right? Getting drunk, okay? This is how they party, which is whatever, right? That's neither here nor there, okay? People party, they get messed up. It is what it is. But not at the White House, right? Not at the White House. What is it about the Biden administration and the White House where there's a clear lack of respect, okay? The guests that come to the White House don't respect the White House. Maybe because they don't respect the man that's actually in the White House, okay? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. How many times do we have to have this happen for people to see that, hey, clearly people don't respect the White House when the Bidens are occupying it, okay? I mean, under Trump, right, this never happened, okay? And if it did happen, we all know how the mainstream liberal media would be covering it, right? They would be losing their minds. They would be asking, why is there coke at the Trump White House, okay? Are Republicans doing coke, right? This is what they would be saying. Now, again, I personally believe that it probably was leftovers from that dinner that they had, that party, just a week or two ago. It's probably leftovers from that, okay? It was found in the library, so we know that it's unlikely to be Hunter Biden's because he's not going anywhere near the library. Unless, who knows, again, that's the place to go, right? That's where people go when they do their lines or whatever, right? Who knows? But it also could be a staffer, okay? It could be somebody that works there for the Biden administration. It could be somebody that is, I don't know, maybe a janitor or something. Who knows? But regardless, the fact that you have this happening at the White House repeatedly, okay, shows you the lack of respect for this administration. People that, again, even agree with the Biden administration, they're in there, getting topless, doing drugs, whatever, right? They clearly don't care about the sanctity of the White House, okay? So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. This is par for the course when it comes to the Biden administration. They don't respect the White House. It's very clear, okay, what's going on here. So, who knows? I mean, it could be Hunter's, right? It's probably Hunter's. I personally think it could be residuals from the state dinner that they had. It could be, somebody on staff or whatever. Regardless, clearly, again, the White House is not respected the same way it used to be respected under Trump, the same way that this country as a whole is not respected the way it used to be under Trump. It's really a damn shame what is happening, guys. But hey, this is the Biden administration. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.